The Pentagon has informed Congress that the first 6 days of the war with Iran have cost the United States more than $11.3 billion, reports the New York Times. The total will rise, as not all expenses have been accounted for yet, the publication writes. It's absolutely true. The Russian Ministry of Health has developed a draft proposal to include cancer vaccines in the compulsory health insurance policy, OMS. This year, all Russians will have access to a free cancer vaccine. This project is being launched by the Ministry of Health. The vaccine will be created individually for each person based on material from their own tumor. Such treatment will become more targeted and personalized. This is really great news. The vaccine will be free of charge. I hope Russian doctors succeed in this. Because of the holidays, the news is a bit outdated, but it's quite interesting. Paramount has officially acquired Warner Brothers for $110 billion. Previously, Netflix was bidding for the studio, but Paramount offered a higher price. As a result, Paramount will acquire the rights to all the top franchises and HBO projects, such as Harry Potter, Batman, Superman, the entire DC Cinematic Universe, as well as The Lord of the Rings. I really hope that Paramount doesn't ruin Warner Brothers the way Disney once did with the Star Wars franchise. China is churning out wind turbines and selling them to European suckers who are buying them by the thousands, said Donald Trump. Trump says a lot of things, and only about 10% of it is true, but in this case I agree with him, because Europe is simply being squeezed. And this green energy sector of theirs, which they started investing in 3 or 4 years ago, they were just pouring huge amounts of money into it. It was unclear what was going on. They gave up Russian gas, Russian oil, gave up their own nuclear energy, and so on. And I agree with Trump. Yes, they are mass-producing wind turbines, installing them everywhere, but they still need to be maintained. And if you take countries like Norway and Finland, they also have wind turbines, but in the cold they freeze up. And as a result, we get the following news. Coal prices have reached a 2-year high, rising by 26% since the start of the war in Iran, and now stand at $133 per ton. This is due to the increase in gas prices, which has forced European and Asian countries to seek additional supplies for energy conservation. If the conflict in the Middle East drags on, coal prices could double and reach $250 per ton. But right now the heating season is ending and spring and summer are approaching. I don't think we'll see such numbers. And by winter we'll see what happens. Dubai's real estate index has dropped by 20% in 5 days. The city is losing its status as a safe haven. The wealthy are leaving, investors fear the economic consequences of the war and are comparing the situation to the pandemic. Reports say that many wealthy individuals have started moving themselves and their capital to Hong Kong and Singapore. But for now, these are just rumors. In time, the statistics will be updated. We'll see. Berkshire Hathaway has published its results for the year 2025. The holding company reported a decline in operating profit, which fell by almost 30% due to poor performance in the insurance business and losses from investments in Kraft Heinz. This year, Warren Buffett's successor, Greg Abel, wrote his first letter to shareholders. At the beginning of the year, he replaced Buffett as CEO. I had already published the news back in the year when Warren Buffett stepped down. He left on a rather negative note because he held on to Kraft Heinz shares for a very long time and they suffered a loss of, I believe, 60%. And the stake there was significant. And now, after his departure, Berkshire has to deal with these consequences. The net worth of US President Donald Trump increased from $5.1 billion in 2025 to $6.5 billion by March 2020, according to Forbes' ranking of the world's billionaires. Trump ranked 645th on the list. In 2025, he held the 700th position. Just look at how any of his tweets moves the markets. Obviously, if you know this, you can make quite a bit of money from it. A Moscow resident was denied free pizza under the Domino's tattoo promotion, and the court sided with the company. In 2018, they promised 100 pizzas a year for 100 years for getting the tattoo, but since 2022, deliveries have stopped. The court ruled that the company has the right to change the rules and end the promotion. This will serve as a clear lesson for everyone who rushes to get tattoos for some promotion.